What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers finished up their Day 3 NFL draft picks and another signing they made, and as well as getting all their undrafted free agents. So I've got a lot of news to bring you guys today. If you wanted to see my draft predictions, and if you wanted to see my thoughts on the first 2 days of our NFL draft, I've got our round 1, 2, and 3 picks thoughts all up. I posted them, I think, yesterday. So go back on my channel if you want to check out my thoughts on Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, and DeMarvin Leal. I've got complete positives and negatives and in-depth focus on all 3 of our first 3 draft picks. But I wanted to bring you guys the Day 3 picks, rounds 4 through 7. We got 4 picks here. Round 4, a round 6, and 2 round 7s. And we also have our 10 undrafted free agents that we signed. And we also signed a veteran backup safety. So Pittsburgh has been doing a lot of work. I want to start with the signing of Damonte Kazee. He was drafted for the Atlanta Falcons, played there for 4 seasons, and then played 1 season on Dallas for the Cowboys, and now got signed yesterday right after the draft by the Steelers. So Pittsburgh obviously wanted to add another safety in the draft. Obviously, Minka's going to be here. He's our cornerstone. We re-signed Terrell Edmunds to a 1-year deal. We had another safety that we signed in the offseason last year that got re-signed, I believe, to a 1-year deal, plus re-signing Miles Killebrew. So we've now got 4 or 5 safeties on the roster. Damonte Kazee is a pretty solid veteran. Again, 5 years experience, played 4 full years for Atlanta and 1 for Dallas. He's got 12 interceptions in those 5 seasons. The bulk did come in 1 season. He had a 7-interception season where he was one of the NFL leaders in interceptions, I think about 2 or 3 years ago for Atlanta. 17 pass breakups. I like Damonte Kazee a lot. He's very good in the air. He locates the ball in the air very well. He's very good at tip drills. He always finds himself around the ball. He's a hitter, and he just plays the ball well. His instincts and his eyes are pretty good, and he's got good hands. He's just one of those guys that's going to be a ball hawk. He's going to get deflections. He's going to get interceptions. He's going to be on the back end hitting guys and knocking the ball loose, and he's going to be on the other end of the tip drill. I like the veteran instincts that he brings. Again, good hitter. And he allows Terrell Edmunds to kind of play more of a box safety. You can play, this guy's a 5-year starter. You can play Kazee along with Minka and Edmunds. If you want to put Edmunds in the box and have him do his tackling and be going after the quarterback and doing the tackling the running back, which is where he shines, you can allow Kazee in the diamond quarter packages and all the sub packages to play with Minka and cover the back end. So now you've got another guy with Minka that can cover the pass protection as a safety, playing center field, and you've got Edmunds back playing the running game and the blitzing on off the edge and stuff like that. So he's a nice veteran fit. He's a guy you can plug and play on day 1. If there's any sub packages, any injuries, my fridge is making weird noise. You can do a lot of things with Kazee. So I like that signing a whole lot for us. And it gives us more room if we want to keep Trey Norwood at corner instead of moving him to safety. And then again, you have Killebrew playing special teams. So you've got some veteran guys now, and you've got our next year locked up. It's only a 1-year contract, so we're still going to have to look next year for another safety. But for now, you've got multiple guys that are veterans, that are experienced, that are physical, and that fit the team system. So I like this signing a lot. I trust a 5-year starting veteran more than I trust some 5th, 6th, 7th round pick or some undrafted free agent for safety. So I actually like this as a draft move a lot better than getting some late round guy that's going to be a project. So this is a very good move for us. But I'm not going to count this as part of our draft grade because he wasn't in the draft. But we did draft 4 guys, starting with round 4, pick 138, Calvin Austin, wide receiver out of Memphis. And I like this pick a lot for us, but it does tell me something. Going with 2 wide receivers in the first 4 rounds, doubling up on receiver this early in the draft, I thought Pittsburgh might go after a 7th round small school speedster, but instead they went after a pretty big school speedster. Calvin Austin is one of the fastest, if not the fastest, wide receivers in the entire draft. This dude has 4.3 speed. He can fly. I like him a lot. Really good wheels, good feet, makes good cuts. Also plays competitively on the 50-50 balls. He's kind of like Pickens, obviously not as big or physical as Pickens, but he's a guy that can line up in the slot, played a little bit outside as well, returned a little bit, and also just played very well in the air. He's a good physical wide receiver. He gets good body positioning. He catches the one-on-one balls a lot. I saw them tossing up a lot of deep shots to him, and he makes those catches in the air. So not only is he's undersized and very fast, he's one of those jittery, quick guys, but he's not as small or as frail as some of the other smaller receivers. He can catch the ball in the air. 50-50, he's got a good chance to catch it. So I like Calvin Austin a lot, but it tells me that there's a good chance Damonte Johnson will not be returning after this season is over. He's been asking for $15 million a year for an extension. He has not proven that he's worth all of that. He is our best receiver, especially now with Juju gone. And he had a really good statistical year last year, but 2 years ago he led the NFL in drops, and last season, in the second half of the season, he was one of the highest rated dropping receivers as well. So he's got a lot of drops in the last 2 years. He's definitely in his head, and he's currently as it stands right now, he's not worth the money he's asking. So he's got all the potential in the world as a fast receiver, a route runner. He's got a ton of potential. He could be Antonio Brown level as far as his ability if he was able to get the drops out of his head. But right now where he stands, he's not worth the money that he wants. So us drafting 2 high round receivers that are so different, Pickens being the big physical outside receiver and Austin being the slot / return fast, downfield threat kind of guy. I like what we have in this locker room right now, the 4 guys we have here. And if Damonte doesn't come back next season, we've got 2 young guys for the next 4 years. So I think this is definitively telling Damonte Johnson, step it up or step out, in my opinion, going here. But really good draft pick. I like this a lot. I would give this pick, for the 4th round, I'm going to say B+. I like this pick a lot. Now we get into some ones that I don't like quite as much. Round 6, pick number 208. This was the most obvious pick of the draft. Every mock, including all the mocks that I did, had us picking this guy. Connor Heyward, halfback / tight end out of Michigan State. This was obvious, right? Not only is he the little brother of Cam Heyward, Pittsburgh loves their legacy players and loves their brothers. On here we have the Edmonds brothers, we have the Watt brothers, now we have the Heyward brothers. But he's a Pittsburgh Steelers type player. He's a big, thick, meaty, physical guy that runs guys over. He's a big, Mike Tomlin loves the position versatility. Tomlin loves to get guys that can play all over the field and do different stuff. And he loves what he calls Swiss Army knives. He called Jalen Samuels that a few years ago when we drafted him. He called Trey Norwood that last year. This guy's a Swiss Army knife. He's a halfback / tight end. He can play a little bit receiver. He returns the ball a little bit. For Michigan State, he can play fullback. He can do gadget plays. He lines up all over the field. He's a big guy. He's a little slow. He's not a very good blocker in spite of the fact that he has a frame to play fullback. He's not a great blocker. His tight end he transferred over to tight end last year for the first time. I think he had 33 catches. He wasn't terribly effective, but he can catch the ball out of the backfield. That's where I think he's going to be most used out of the backfield. He reminds me of a Jalen Samuels a lot. Kind of the better receiver out of the running back core, but not a great runner or blocker. So I don't think he's taking Derek Watt's job. I don't think he's going to be a consistent runner on this team, but I can definitely see Matt Canada using him in some gadget stuff. He threw a few passes for Michigan State, one for a touchdown actually. Did some stuff on the end arounds. He's pretty quick for his size, but he doesn't get off the ball extremely fast, but he does run guys over. So again, legacy pick, good story, physical player, Swiss Army knife. I get it. I just don't think he does anything well enough to be drafted here. I think there was other guys we could have gotten, including some guys that I like better at running back in our undrafted free agents pool. I don't think he's the number 2 behind Najee Harris or even the number 3 necessarily. Because again, decent runner but not great. Decent pass catcher, but not great. Decent speed, but not great. And not a very good blocker. So what are we really going to do with him? Again, I understand why the pick was made. I like it for family values and all that. Big physical guy. He fits our mold. But I just don't see what he does well enough to warrant a pick here. But I know it's the 6th round, so you're reaching for anybody, right? So I'm going to give this pick a C-. I know, I'm going to get attacked in the comments for that one. Round 7, 225, we drafted Mark Robinson, inside linebacker out of Ole Miss. I'm not big on this one either. There's a lot of physical inside and outside linebackers you could pick up here. Again, I know this is all for projects, but Mark Robinson is a project. He's a little bit undersized. He does hit pretty hard. He's a good physical guy, and when he commits to his decisions, he makes good decisions. What I saw on tape, though, was that he wasn't committing a lot. He was stutter-stepping. He wasn't really making the best reads at first. He would start on one side of the field and have to work his way back to the other. He does run through the whistle. He does have a lot of effort, but I feel like he doesn't really Instinctively, he doesn't have the best instincts. He doesn't really attack the ball necessarily. He doesn't get into the backfield very much. He's a good hitter and a good follow-through tackler. He had, I think, almost 100 tackles last year, but he's making those all on guys that have caught the ball. So I didn't see him covering at all. He's not a coverage linebacker, which is a big weakness for us already. And the tackles that he's making are on guys that have caught the ball. So he's not covering well, and he's not getting into the backfield, and he's not putting any pressure on the quarterbacks. He's making a lot of tackles, but he's doing it on guys that have already gained yards. So I'm not terribly big on this pick either, but he's got some upside. Again, he makes good decisions once he commits, and he is physical. So there's possibilities there, but I'm not big on this pick either. I'm going to go with a C on this pick. He's a possible project, but we already have projects back there. Ulysses Gilbert III has been here for 4 years and not really been on the field very much. And Buddy Johnson was drafted last year, and I think he has a much higher ceiling, and he didn't get to play last year. So we have a couple guys in the wings already that I don't think this pick is gonna land very hard. So I don't really get this one. Then another pick I don't really get in round 7, pick 241, Chris Oladukin, quarterback, South Dakota State. He's got a strong arm and he's very mobile, but he played in the FCS, so not a ton of competition. Division 3 kind of thing, or Division 2 kind of thing. I'm sorry. Oladukin, again, I like his energy. I like his mobility. He breaks a lot of tackles. He's got a very strong arm, takes a lot of deep shots, but I don't like his reading. I feel like he stares down receivers a lot, and I feel like he throws in double and triple coverage a lot. So I'm not really a big fan of his decision making, which is a hard thing to improve at the NFL level. You can get better with your smarts and reads, but decision making is kind of an instinctual thing, and I'm not sure if he's going to even land on this roster. Obviously, we have 3 quarterbacks now. I know we always come into camp with 4 quarterbacks. We wanted to have 4 quarterbacks this year, but I don't think drafting one here makes the most sense when you could have gotten an undrafted free agent. You have other positions you could have gotten. You're still looking for O tackles. You're still looking for D-line. You're still looking for outside linebacker. You're still possibly even looking for safety up until we signed Kazee. So there's other positions we could have filled there, and drafting another quarterback who's probably not going to make the roster doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm going to give this pick a D. So nothing against Oladukin. Again, strong arm and good energy, but I just don't see it here besides practice squad. Possible practice squad. Then we go, so overall, I'm going to give our draft a C. I was pretty high on the first 3 picks. I liked especially Pickens and Leal, but of these last 4 picks, Calvin Austin is the only one I really liked. Heyward is a good story, but not a great pick. Robinson needs a lot of work, and Oladukin's not going to make the roster. So I don't really see how these last few picks. You can find some gems in round 5, 6, and 7. You can really make some moves, and they didn't here. So I'm going to give the draft overall a C. But undrafted free agents, there's a couple guys I'm looking forward to big time here. We signed 10 guys. I don't know all these guys very well, so I'm going to give you feedback on a few of them. Jake Dixon, offensive tackle out of Duquesne. We needed another tackle, so good to get a guy like that on the roster. Mateo Durant, running back out of Duke. He's the guy I'm highest on. He's a steal here. I actually had him as the 5th or 6th best running back in the entire draft. I had him pretty high in my 2nd to 3rd tier of guys. I could have seen him going in like the 4th or 5th round. I had a high grade on him. There's a couple guys in our practice squad, or our undrafted free agents last year, who slid up really high, or actually fell, I should say, out of the draft, and we picked up. This is a value pick for me. Mateo Durant, really quick. He finishes tackles. He's strong. He runs through guys. He's a good goal line option. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. I just really enjoy how this guy finishes runs. He finishes strong. He runs through a lot of tackles. He's very quick. He's kind of short and stocky, but he also is quick. I like Mateo Durant quite a bit. I think he's a better running back than Connor Heyward, who we got in the 6th round. I think he could wind up being a backup to Najee Harris. I like this guy's pedigree a lot. Donovan Jeter, defensive line out of Michigan. He's probably going to play D tackle. Not really too sure about this guy. He doesn't seem like he's somebody who's going to get in the backfield and tackle the quarterback. He's definitely a big, thick body to get in there, kind of the Casey Hampton style, and stop the run. Good tackler, but he's not a fast burst kind of guy. He's more of a strength over speed guy. So developmental, but good to get another D tackle on the roster. I don't see him making it here, but it's good to sign a guy out with pedigree out of Michigan. Tyree Johnson, outside linebacker out of Texas A&M. He had 8.5 sacks this year for Texas A&M, led them in sacks, and was one of the highest sackers in his conference. I like this guy a lot. He's a good possible outside linebacker to add to our pass rush. We had to get one more body out there, and I think he's a good one. He's one of our steals in the free agency list. T.D. Moultrie, outside linebacker out of Auburn. I couldn't find much on him, but I like Auburn. Chris Owens, guard out of Alabama. He seemed okay. He didn't seem terribly effective, but didn't seem bad either. Anytime you draft an Alabama guy, it's like big possibilities because Alabama's like the best school in the country for these guys. They have a good line every year, so Chris Owens is one to watch out for at guard. A nice depth piece there because obviously our offensive line needs a lot of changes and upgrades, and we're doing that, so I'm glad. Chris Steele, cornerback out of USC. Jordan Tucker, offensive tackle out of UNC, North Carolina. Bryce Watts, cornerback out of UMass. And finally, another running back that I like, the second one in this undrafted free agent class, Jaylen Warren out of Oklahoma State. I like this guy a lot as well. He's very quick. He seems to find very small holes and kind of make something out of nothing. I saw him getting skinny and finding a lot of small gaps to make potentially 0 yardage plays into good downfield plays. I really enjoyed that out of him. He's definitely somebody, very good cuts too. He has, watching his tape, he has some of the best cutbacks that I've seen of any running back in the draft. Didn't know much about him going in, but I watched a lot of tape on him once we got him, and I like him a lot as well. So those are the 3 guys I would most look out for. 2 different styles of running backs, and Mateo Durant and Jaylen Warren. I like both those guys a lot. Those are steals for where we got those guys at. And also Tyree Johnson out of Texas A&M. So 3 really good undrafted free agents that are better, I think, than our last 3 draft picks. So draft overall was a C. Couple really good guys on the undrafted list to look out for. What did you guys think of our draft overall? Go back and check out my day 1 thoughts and day 2 thoughts, and now check out this one as well. What did you guys think of our 7 picks? Did we make some good late round picks? Did we waste a few picks? What do you think? Who would you rather have gotten? Who do you think can make a potential impact on this roster? Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below to bump these videos up if you like my deep dive coverage. And I will come back to you guys a little later as more signings and news of camp comes out. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Please like, share, and subscribe. Take care, Steeler fans.